This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. Recently, I started using Anchor as my podcast host. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part. And you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch in one place. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Thursday, April 7th, 2022. Let's talk about the news. From the New York Times, Russia-Ukraine War Summary. Large numbers of Ukrainians are fleeing the Donbas region of Ukraine as Russian forces reposition their weapons and soldiers to capture and hold the surrounding area. Both Chinese and Indian governments have said the allegations of war crimes in Ukraine by Russian forces warrant independent investigations. Ukrainian President Zelensky told the UN Security Council either Russia should be booted from the council or the council should be dissolved as worthless. Both possibilities, I should note, are exceedingly unlikely. And Twitter has said it will stop amplifying Russian government accounts and will remove some tweets containing images of prisoners of war from the conflict in Ukraine. There's a lot of rumbling about new sanctions from both the US and EU right now, but most of them seem to be ultra-specific permutations of existing sanctions meant to fill in gaps. None of them seem to be meaningfully moving the needle on the invasion right now, at least as far as we're able to tell from the outside. From Axios, EPA proposes historic plan to ban cancer-causing asbestos. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has proposed a ban on the highly carcinogenic substance, asbestos, which has already been banned in at least 70 other countries, but somehow, inexplicably, hasn't been banned in the U.S. yet. Exposure to asbestos is linked to nearly 40,000 deaths in the U.S. each year, mostly from various sorts of cancer. And the only type of asbestos still allowed to be imported to the country is a variety called white asbestos, which is used in roofing materials and some automobile components. This proposed ban would prohibit the making, processing, importation, and distribution of anything containing white asbestos in the country. And from The Verge, Germany shuts down servers for Russian darknet marketplace, Hydra. German authorities have knocked a Russian darknet marketplace called Hydra offline by taking down its servers and seizing about $25.2 million worth of Bitcoin. The darknet is basically just a part of the internet that isn't accessible via typical web browsers and apps, and which thus is a bit trickier to access and more anonymous than those more mainstream portions of the net. This makes the darknet a great place to sell illegal stuff, and Hydra is a marketplace for those sorts of goods and services, including drugs, counterfeit currency, fake documents of all kinds, and stolen credit card numbers. The German government is now in the process of figuring out who was running this marketplace, and have said no arrests have been made yet. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.